I'll take the initiative of welcoming the first speaker from the proposition side, and that is none other than the Honorable Chiza Lillian. You're welcome.
I dignify the panel of the judges, the two benches of the parliamentarians, and the House at large. Good afternoon. Our motion today states that should young people know beyond abstinence, and I'm proposing the motion. Before I go any further, allow me to give a description about the motion. Should is a modal verb, is used to show what is right or appropriate. Young is an adjective, meaning having lived or existed for only a short time. Period is a verb, meaning men, women, and children. Know is a verb, to have information in your mind as a result of experience or because you have learnt about it. Beyond is an adjective, means on or the further side of something. Abstinence, practice of self-imposed restraint from indulging in bodily activities that are widely experienced as giving pleasure, i.e. sex and drugs. Once again, I'm proposing the motion. My first point is, it allows young people to focus on building authentic emotional connections with their partners instead of focusing on only the physical aspects. In this circumstance, why am I saying this? One has to be real, one has to be genuine, has to be true, and has to be accurate. You have to live bearing this in mind, that I'm living, yes, I have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, but what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to have sex with her now? No, you must be real, genuine, and accurate. To find someone and say that, just look at someone, sensitize, learn someone, the behaviors, the character traits, and say, no, this person deserves to be a future wife. This person deserves to be a future husband. That's why I'm meaning that this person has to be real, genuine, true, and accurate. My second point is, it motivates their moral development. For example, some adolescents make their moral decisions based on external demands like family. With this, let me say there is a group, and it's a bad peer group. Maybe let me say it's for girls, and I'm also a girl. I'm friend to one of the members in the group. Their conversations is all about boys. Their conversations are all about sex. That's why I mean that they make their decisions. It motivates their moral development. Some adolescents make their moral decisions based on external demands. In that same group, after listening to what those people are talking, they most especially when they are negative, it's you to bear it in mind that no, I'm not supposed to be in this group. I'm not supposed to hear this, but I have to be intentional in order to fulfill my ambition. My third point is, knowing beyond abstinence matters a lot on the side of hygiene. In this case, some of the parents fear to tell their children, let them be girls, let them be boys, about their hygiene. For example, let me give an example on a girl. You grow up, you go into your periods, but your mother or your father fails to tell you that if you do this and this, you have to be clean. If it is a boy, you have to shave. Whereby parents of this generation fear to tell children that do this, do this. Another point is, when children get to know beyond the abstinence. First of all, there is self-esteem. With this, provides young people with the confidence to assert their boundaries and advocate for their sexual health needs. To assert is the state of being clear and definitely to say that something is true. This someone gets confidence to say that no, if at this age I'm having a boyfriend, I don't have to practice sex with him this time. Another point is gender equality. This promotes gender equality by emphasizing mutual respect and consent in sexual relationship. Mutual is used to describe feelings that two or more people have for each other equally, or actions that affect two or more equally. Here you have to suggest, if you're with your partner, you have to suggest on what are we to do, on how are we moving on our relationships, when I'm not doing something that is harming you, when I'm not doing something that is harming maybe the girl. For example, in this case, we girls are more affected, whereby a boy impregnates you, you stay at home seated, but a boy goes back to school to study. Because a girl may be nervous of going back to school to study with that capital D. Another point is parental support. Equips parents with resources and information to have open and honest conversations with their children about sex or drugs. By this point, when parents get to know more about abstinence, a parent stores information and says, because most of the parents, they have already undergone through these processes. So a parent is already equipped to say that no, to counsel the child by telling him or her that you're doing this, but it's not right. Stop doing this. For example, let me give an example of drugs. Boys, let me say boys, and now it crosses all sides. Boys take drugs, girls take drugs. But if a parent is aware that drugs are of negative impact to a child, he or she will counsel the child in order to upbring a good generation. With the above views, allow me rest my case. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Tumwebaze David.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity granted to me. The panel of judges, the two benches of the parliamentarians, and the House at large, a good afternoon. I firmly oppose the motion. Young people knowing beyond abstinence disorganize the mental health as a young person gets involved in relationships which results to breakups leading to psychological damage. In this case, as young people, when we get to know more about ourselves, as we say about sex, we tend to practice sex. Why shouldn't I practice and take the repercussions? But if a young person is told to abstain, you don't know, and you don't have to know what are the repercussions, what will come after having sex. You should just abstain. Have no mind about it in order to focus in school. Because some of us here, knowing about sex, about our relationships, and we are told about the family planning. Some of us go in family planning, ending up testing sex, getting diseases that may lead to death, that may lead to us going astray. And my second point is, it creates unnecessary tension and misery to attempt to get teens to abstain. For example, when a child's hormones are raging and they want to experiment. In this youth or young men, it's very difficult to control ourselves when we are told about some things to engage in, like drug abuse, as we see some of the singers this world. You are told by your parents drug abuse is very bad. These are the repercussions of drug abuse. But you want to say this world was a rich man. He used to have money, a young boy having money at that particular age. So you try to abuse the drug, ending up dying, ending up going away from the main reason why you're in school. And my third point is, according to growth and development cycle, stage tends to disturb teenagers. This worsens the adolescent stage since they discover to know beyond what is called for. So, when you tend to discover more about what is called for, what is necessary for you to know, you tend sometimes to experiment. Your hormones reach a time when they demand for a particular thing. When you feel like someone should touch your breast, ending up in a trap. So knowing beyond abstinence may lead to going astray. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe and I wish the House also takes up the heart that the Honorable has exhibited in managing time. Thank you very much. So I believe your lips were itching and you felt like you should burst out. Now the debate is open as I welcome the second participant on the proposition side. Warmly with love, I will welcome Honorable Tanga Jime to access the argument.
Thank you for the permission. The panel of judges, the two benches of parliamentarians, and the House at large. Good afternoon. My name is Tanga Jime. I'm proposing the motion. Knowing beyond abstinence is necessary, mostly be amongst these teens of below 18. This is because it helps to keep them safe from unwanted pregnancies. This is because through the use of family planning methods like contraceptives, these girls are these days using these methods like they are implanting, using pills in order to prevent themselves from getting pregnant. My second point is, it reduces the chances of psychological repercussions that cause depression and unstable mental health. For example, a student these days is giving a girl student pregnant, is getting her pregnant, and after realizing the situation, the guy gets lost and runs out from the village. This leaves that girl suffering and her mental health gets really poor. My next point is, it reduces the risk of reproductive tract infections that are caused by sexual intercourse. For example, these days people have got to know about the use of condoms. So when a girl uses condom when they are playing sex, her chances of getting HIV/AIDS are very low. This is all because a condom is a protective measure. My next point is, if you want to lower the abortion rates and keep teenagers in school, you should properly educate them and thoroughly teach them about What's beyond abstinence? Thank you, Honorable.
I'm opposing the motion because of the following views. Leads to early marriage. This is through sexual education this person gets interest in playing sex. My second point. Leads to disorder in the family. For example, younger people tend to reject the parents' advice. In addition, abuse of religion. This is where it gives room to younger people to read pornographic literature and watch romantic movies and practice in prostitution as they sell their bodies for money.
Point of information granted. Student speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable that he has not received the actual practice of beyond abstinence. Do we all watch pornography and pornographic pictures and those other movies?
Point of information to the right honorable speaker.
Before the House and the bench gives more clarity, I'm going to give room to the Honorable to defend himself.
If younger people are given freedom to know about sex and abstinence of their results, they will be given freedom to watch pornography, which will give them interest to play sex. My third last point. Diverse younger people from their future goals. If one is exposed to beyond abstinence, that person focuses on the positive effects than negative impacts. For example, if the lesson taught was about love affairs. Allow me to bed rest my communication and to leave the podium.
Thank you very much for the wonderful argument. I would like to take the opportunity to welcome Honorable Akech Matilda. Come and face the podium.
I acknowledge the panel of judges, the two competitive bodies, plus the House at large, a colorful afternoon. My name is Akech Matilda, a student in Senior 4. My main purpose here is to propose the motion that states that should young people know beyond abstinence, which is absolutely right. First of all, beyond abstinence enables young people to reduce on the spread of STDs, whereby nowadays we have family planning methods. It reduces on the number of people who are receiving HIV every now and then. The condoms that have been provided help the people, the young people, to know that if I'm going to have sex, I should use condoms in order to reduce the spread of STDs.
Point of information granted.
I appreciate for the opportunity that has been granted to me. I would like to inform my fellow honourable by saying that as they are preventing the unwanted pregnancy and then the unwanted or unplanned pregnancies, they are also causing a side effect to the fellow Ugandans we are having. You will find that someone who has been using the family planning methods will become barren. So after me becoming barren, how am I going to multiply the next generation?
Everything has harmful and good things. But in the use of condoms, the most big part is the positive effects, apart from the negative effects. However, I sincerely speak that beyond abstinence enables to prevent and reduce on the desire of exploring. For example, whenever youth is told to abstain from something and you don't give that person the repercussions, the outcomes, that youth may have the desire to look, what are the outcomes? Mommy told me to abstain from sex, but if I don't, what will come out? Trust me, beyond abstinence enables to reduce on the number of street children on the streets. Like, if you use family planning methods, I don't think that you will get unwanted pregnancy, so that we have you have heard of many girls who are growing children on the streets. Many children are running out of homes because they are many, they don't have education, they just produce them anyhow. You can also notice this in homes. Like if a child is not clarified on the harmful things that he's doing, that child will not know that there is a name.
Through the Honorable Speaker, I'd like to inform my fellow honorables by saying that they are those that are using the family planning method, but still they are going ahead to use the drugs. So by the use of the drugs, their brain is mentally disturbed. They are saying that they reach the time of neglecting the family and then they leave the children to be suffering.
Then those of you are ignorant. They have not yet known the disadvantages of
information grant. Okay, thank you very much. Honorable, I would like to inform Honorable Robina that we are not only having artificial methods of family planning, we also have the natural ones. So you're talking of drugs, you're talking of condoms, but do you know that the best method of family planning is making use of this? Another thing is, let me inform you this for your own information, that all people who are using family planning, they are like, when you tell me of abstaining from sex, and then you're not telling me the dangers I'll get, then when I go deep in abstinence, or when I go beyond, I will learn how I can abstain, how I can prevent everything. Thank you.
I would like to inquire from my fellow honorables. You've spoken of if you have told that person if you have told that person mock the abstinence, how to do it. So I'd like at least to clarify me. They've always been giving counseling at the schools and then specific to students and then the learners. Why is it that they are still most school dropouts? You find that again still girls are getting their pregnancy. Yet they're always giving them the clear reasons as well to abstain from them.
Thank you so very much. Let me defend my view. Yes, you're the very people who are saying that children should not know beyond abstaining. And here I'm advocating for the children to not beyond. So that's the same that.
Thank you very much. I believe if it is meat, now we are smelling the taste and we are warming up to receive the big pieces. Thank you very much, and I would like to inform the House, if a view is brought out and through the argument you fail to defend that view, I will nullify it. So, with the authority and the office given to me, I'm going to nullify the last point. Thank you very much. I'm taking the initiative to welcome Honorable Chisate Robina to face the podium. You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity granted. The panel of judges, the two competing bodies plus the audience. At this moment, allow me to acknowledge our right honorable speaker for giving me this wonderful moment to speak to you all. Specifically, I'm here for the reason of opposing the motion that states that should younger people know beyond abstinence, and I'm 100% or strongly opposing through my following views. Knowing beyond abstinence exposes young people to the different planning methods like the revoke, 7-2. This is experience that someone will get the confidence of saying that even though I go for the early marriage or even though I try the sex, so there is the advantage or there is the way that I can present myself from becoming pregnant. So it has now diversed the students' understanding, and then they have now diversed their focusing. Instead of focusing to books, you see that most of the youth are focusing to the irrelevant functions or the relative activities like playing sex, because they know that if I go for sex, then I will not produce. If I go for sex, I will not die, because there are measures that are going to use, for example, the family planning methods.
Point of inquiry granted.
Point
of inquiry nullified. You may take up the seat.
Seeing is believing. Teenagers who gain information about sexual intercourse from friends are more likely to adopt their rebellious sexual attitudes. This can be seen that we have proficient students at this school, or not even this school, but the different sectors or the different institutions. This is where you are going to find
that we have students who pretend to be aunties. That for them they will cast a group and then they start telling them, if you engage yourself with a boyfriend, maybe this will happen, maybe this will come. So it will force even this one that have not been having that focus or didn't have that knowledge and also be joining because he has got a lot of information to put across.
Point of information granted to Honorable Baba Zipapita. I would like to inform the current speaker that this is all.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to inform the current speaker, Honorable, that this is all. The point of giving out is caused by not telling the young people how beyond abstinence. It's because they are curious, as adolescents are curious to know more about what's behind sex and what should be done. Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow Honorable. I think I was clear speaking and stating it that we have proficient friends. Proficient, I mean those that are best at, the so-called aunties. They will find themselves that for them they are better than others. They organize a lesson and they teach others that if you go for sex, this is what you get. If you do this is what you get. Thank you. Knowing beyond abstinence boosts the self-praise. You will find that if the child has gained that experience, that if you go for sex, this is the courage that you gain. That child will grading him or herself with the grave of the parent. Say that if man has ever played sex and I've ever played sex, so how is the child and the me?
Point of information granted before the rest of the time ends.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your time you have given to me. I would like to inform Honorable Robina that the councillors, those who are guiding people on the effects of abstinence, they are not only telling them the effects, but also the advantages.
Thank you, but I'd also like to inform you that as they're telling them the advantages and the effects, but they're purposely focusing on the advantages because they want to know the good things, but they're less concerned on the bad things. Thank you. Now in beyond abstinence of thank you, the right chairperson, the right honorable speaker. I end by saying that one who proved too much proved nothing. Transformation starts with me.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sache Robina. Let me take the initiative to welcome Honorable Birawa Angela to come and face the podium.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I recognize the panel of the judges, the two benches of parliamentarians, and the House at large. Before me uttering out my points, I would like to first point out my problems, because I always have that effect of my tongue. Because this tongue, it has some words. Sometimes I may outspeak words. Yeah, my first point is, before that, the motion states that, should young people know beyond abstinence? Yes, 100% I'm supporting the motion. Young children or young people should know that because it helps them to focus in their studies. First of all, like my former school at Namayemba district, that was my former school. Namayemba district, Pomaro College. Yeah, Namayemba district, Pomaro College. You can use my phone to do what? To research. Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform my fellow honorable saying that when I was in
you to know about the advantages and effects of them. For example, like when these children at school, if they don't give you knowledge about sexual intercourse, if they don't counsel you, you guys, I'm 100% sure that no one, you find yourself or you find a number of students joining sexual groups.
Point of information to the honorable speaker. Point of information granted honorable Matilda.
I would like to defend my fellow speaker. She was not actually on sex only. Abstinence does not mean on sex. So what you were saying of sex, she was speaking about the bad peer groups. It helps one to be like to attend classes clearly.
Not knowing only sexual groups, but even moral habits. I can't join a bad group, going in a bad group. You can't find me in a bad group. Whereby, when I'm always counseling my fellow students,
Information granted Honorable Wandala Francis as he also sees out the time.
Thank you for the opportunity granted. I would like to inform you that when we gather to be guided and counseled, most younger children or people tend to follow. When, for example, they say that if you go for early sex, it will result into what? Into early marriage. And yet, you go further and you explain that there are family planning methods which can be used to limit, or when younger children use that family planning method, can't get pregnant. So when you are telling us that, when, for example, me I'm saying that abstain from sex and we end there. For you are going more and explain that if you use family planning method, you will be abstaining from sex. Yet you are causing infections in your body.
yes, I would like to ask the timekeeper at least to give me 1 minute to defend myself. Because, Honorable Francis, to defend myself. I'd like to defend myself on that. What you are not understanding. Counseling and guidance is not only in schools, but even at home, community, and other places. When my mother tells me something, or maybe when my mother has ever told me something from childhood, you can't tell me I can do that thing even in what? Adulthood. That's being ignorance of the highest order. Thank you, Honorable Francis.
The house is over enjoying and forgetting the rules I placed in the house. I say don't overget the joy, don't fix the joy onto the silver plate. And you forget to respect my house. If you're happy, if you feel that joy is beyond, stamp your feet. If you feel that joy is over-smelling, stamp your feet and cover it up.
Yes.
So let me take the opportunity to welcome Honorable Mukisa Derrick to face the podium. And I believe there is a fire that is going to come from the mountain.
Before Father Francis fries 5 fresh fish for his 5 French friends, allow me to recognize the presence of our speaker, the judges, the 2 anti-domestic bodies plus the house at large. Our motion as stated on the BB, on the blackboard, should young people know beyond abstinence? After my own heart, I'm seriously opposing the motion with the following views. Knowing beyond abstinence does not only instruct children not to have sex, but it rather provides comprehensive and inclusive education on sex. This is seen when you're told beyond abstinence. It's like they are telling you like you should go in for sex, but they are telling you to protect yourself. Yet that protection, the protection methods they are giving you, have effects, and some of those effects lead to permanent disorder of our reproductive systems.
Madam Speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable the floor that you clearly brought it up that it's not only teaching us on sex, right? But it's teaching us on sex. And then abstaining. When you fail to abstain, when you go deep in this lesson of abstinence, in case you fail, at least they provide you ways that you can do it safely.
But those ways are like you've used the Revoc 72, which are pills which are used after 3 days. It's under family planning. Those things even the doctors clarify, saying if you use them in excess, they might lead to permanent barrenness. There are many
information granted Honorable Lydia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to inform the Honorable in front of us that though they tell them the negative things about them and they continue to do them, it gives a negative impact. But where do we get the positive impact from? Like if I get used to it, it damages me. I get to know that, no, if this person gets used to it, it will also give a bad impact on her. Whereby I have to give that person guidance and counseling in order to bring up a good generation.
I think the best advice you can give him or her is to abstain from them, not telling her more than that. There are many risks that avail from the use of condoms. There are many risks that avail from the use of... To the right Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask for 1 minute. 30
seconds.
There are many risks that avail from the use of condoms, like cervix cancer, and many girls have gone for operations because of condoms. Some of the condoms are stuck inside their reproductive organs, which sometimes leads to death. Knowing beyond abstinence breeds diseases of highly reproductive tract diseases like HIV. Since they know beyond abstinence, they take risks. For example, have sex with boys who, for example, girls have sex with boys who are hygienically poor. And they end up contracting diseases like Candida. I beg rest my case and I beg to move with my head raised high.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for understanding what I wanted. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Nasirumbi Fridaus to face the podium.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The panel of judges, the government side and the opposition side. Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Nasirumbi Fridaus. I'm in Senior 3 class and I'm here to discuss more about the motion of today that says that should young people know beyond abstinence? I'm saying yes, and they should know more beyond abstinence because of my following views. When we know more beyond abstinence, it helps students to choose to delay sex. For example, in Uganda, very few children in Uganda now engage in sex before the age of 16.
Honorable by saying that previously they could tell us that don't sit on the fire stoves, that if you sit there it will burn you. But they had the reasons behind as to why. They said that you may come with the residues on the pump. So the moment you sit there, you're going to live with them. But in the end, they will tell us, don't sit there, it will burn you. Giving the reason to that, back to your point, say that hell is trying to relate to do what, to play the sex. But he actually told me that it helps me to avoid the other sex, but you've also given me the way forward. That in the case of other sex, I can do this. So how will that prevent me from playing the sex? Yet I'm already in the adolescent stage. My body is yearning for sex.
Thank you, Honorable, but you're just playing my time. I didn't talk of culture, beliefs, and I didn't talk of norms. I talked of, it helps it helps young children to choose, to choose the right time of sex. How? When they teach me more about abstinence, a parent will not wake up one day and say, Frida, abstain from sex. I'll ask myself, what is behind sex? I have to know, what are the disadvantages of sex? What am I going to get when I engage in early sex? So parents have to inform us more about this. My second view.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to inform Madam Honorable Robina by defending this one point. That first of all, to know simply means to have information in your mind as a result of experience or because you have learned about it. You may have not done it, but when they have ever told you about that something, in order for you to know that if I do this, this will happen. If I don't, that's why she said that it lays sex. Whereby if I know about it, I will never need sex anymore.
I'm proceeding. My second view is empowerment.
Information granted Honorable Wanjala.
Thanks for the second opportunity. I would like to inform my fellow Honorable that biologically, when you speak about something, there is the way how it stimulates our body organs. For example, when you talk about the sex, it will stimulate the hormones in the body. Now, I will give it desire to sex, and yet I will go for sex because they will have been talked about the family planning method. So, if the other people, they will use that opportunity that let me go for sex because I have the condoms, I will not impregnate someone's girl.
Did you know that when they talk more of abstinence and go deep in it, they can give you the ways that you can control yourself, not to play sex? My second view is empowerment. When they go deep in empowerment, or when we know more beyond about abstinence, it empowers us. When my mother tells me that without don't do this, or Honorable so and so don't do this, it will empower me. Have self-respect that this is my body and I have to respect it. That just ending there, that don't do this and end there. But when she gives me more clarity on that, I will know that this is not supposed to be done and this is supposed to be done for my safety. Third, it helps one, like mostly, here Madam Speaker, I would just like to request for a minute, please. Thank you so much. Just talking more about going deep in abstinence. When they teach us more about sex education, not only sex education, though this thing is centered on sex, but even spiritually, when they tell us of abstinence, it helps us, or it gives us the other thing that when your parent sits with you, guiding you and counseling you, it also brings the other thing that a God-fearing child is supposed to do this and this, which is building my what? My faith in God. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Let me take this grace to welcome Honorable Wanjala Francis to face the podium.
Thanks for the opportunity granted at this particular time.
allow me to take this honor to recognize the panel of judges, the two competitive body, plus the entire fraternity of the witnessing body. A good afternoon to you all. My name is Angela Francis, a senior fourth class. I'm mainly here to oppose the motion which says, should young people know beyond abstinence? Really, I'm opposing this motion due to my following views. 1. Knowing beyond the abstinence leads to moral decay. In case, young people are always taught about sex education. This stimulates them to turn, whereby you may find younger people comparing themselves with elder. For example, the girl child can be told that you can produce a child. He can tend to compare herself with the mother. This is
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I would like to inform Honorable Francis that I'd like to inform Honorable Francis that when they are counseling or they are teaching children or students about sexual immorality or about sexual intercourse, they are not telling them to do what? To engage in them, but they are telling them the effects and not only telling them the bad.
Thank you for your addition on what I said. Allow me to proceed with saying some younger people tend to focus on the advantages than the effects. For example, when they talk about abstaining from alcohol and they go beyond, they explain to me the advantages of alcohol. I will tend, sometimes they may say that when you have stress, you can take alcohol to do away with that stress. Now, young children or young people, they tend to engage in some relationship whereby they get stressed and get involved in such things.
Why should a boy or a girl below the age of 18, whereby you're not independent, why should you have stress? Anyways, if you're told the dangers and also the advantages, does it insist or does it insinuate that you should go and take alcohol?
I was very clear by saying that in line with other sex, they talk about relationships. When they are guiding younger people, they talk about don't engage in other relationships, which may cause you to engage in sex. Now, when you have engaged in a relationship between a boy and a girl, you may find problems when that boy has left you or a girl has left a boy. You may get some stress. When they have talked about the alcohol, you may go there that they talked about you can take alcohol to do away with the stress, so you will engage in alcohol. Thank you, Chairperson, the panel of judges, plus the audience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe now the House is closed to questions because it is a sum up whereby I'm going to welcome Honorable Mbabazi Gift Papita to face the podium with the freedom of no questioning, no pressure, but expression.
Thank you, Madam Honorable Speaker. The panel of judges, the two benches of parliamentarians, and the House at large, a good afternoon. My name is Baba's Gift Pavita and I'm in Senior 3. I'm here to propose the motion that is written on the board. Should young people know beyond abstinence? And I really agree with the motion. They should, because of my following views. Every honorable has been talking about abstaining from sex, but this time around I'm going to sum up everything that they tell us to abstain from. This is to say, sex, drug abuse, bad peer groups, and very many others. For the three are the main ones because they cause the others. About drug abuse, young people should know more about beyond abstinence from drug abuse, because this helps a child to realize the dangers and the effects of using drugs. Trust me, dear house, that the young people who are told about the drugs and their effects, contribution to the poor hygiene, poor life, and ignorance, will never abuse drugs. For example, any of you who is, for example, biblically, if God says we should, there are certain commandments of murder and everything, everyone knows it's wrong. Still, despite you knowing that it's wrong, but because God didn't write the repercussions of what will happen if you kill somebody, you people continue killing or murdering. Learning beyond abstinence teaches the ways of handling risks that come with sex, e.g. early pregnancies, STDIs. This is to say, if someone knows the repercussions of sex, like early pregnancies, the STDIs, and also sometimes death, having explained and narrated all the effects of early sex, none of them or none of us will actually get interested in going for sex, unless any of you prefers death. For that point, it also provides young people with the ability of focusing on their academic performance and physical well-being. This is to say, if you teach young people more about beyond abstinence, a child won't sit thinking about what a teacher told them, like you should abstain from sex and then that's all. I myself am curious. Everyone is curious, so I'll be sitting thinking about why did this person tell me to stay away and why? Like seriously, what's beyond sex? What are the repercussions, or what are the repercussions of being a drug addict? Toxic. It is toxic if you just say that a child should only learn about the abstinence and that's all. If we are in a sector of health promotion, it encourages the promotion of overall sex health and well-being. The health ways of using family planning methods. Everyone was, the opposers the honorables at the opposite side were talking about the dangers of family planning, forgetting that if you are talking about through you, Madam Honorable, out. Thank you. Forgetting that if we are teaching beyond abstinence, we tell you how to minimize on the usage of the family planning methods. And trust me, no one does abstain from sex. So I would like to, after all these arguments and points, I would like you to clarify you that this argument clearly shows that young people should know beyond abstinence. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbabas Pavita. The house is soon closing, but before we do that, let me take opportunity to gracefully welcome the last speaker from the opposition side, and that person is none other than Honorable Emily, to come and express how everything should be done.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity granted. I organize the presence of the judges, the two competing bodies, and the House at large. Good afternoon or good evening to all of you. So, in the same boat as my fellow honorables, I also oppose the motion that says, should young people know beyond abstinence? And to me, I oppose the motion saying, young people should not know beyond abstinence, because this will lead them to having sexual relationship as a result of sexual education. And when referred to the Bible, it says that when a man and a woman have sexual intercourse, they become one person. According to the Bible, sex before marriage is known as fornication, which is a sin in God's sight. If this is done, you should know that sex before marriage, it's a sin in God's sight, because the Bible tells us that if a man and a woman have intercourse, you become one person. And becoming one person, this thing is made for people in marriage, and this is one of the vows taken during the marriage rituals. And now, you're below the age of 18, and you're seriously having sex with a boy, and you become one person, which means you're illegally married in front of God's sight. My next point is, young people should not know beyond abstinence, because even the PRC teaches that we should abstain from sex and focus on education. Then why should we go beyond abstinence? I've told you, abstain from sex. But you being big-headed, you're saying, I will go beyond and know what results come if I don't abstain from sex. You all know if you don't abstain from sex and you use some methods that told us, like family planning. If you use family planning can affect you or affect your reproductive system. Don't you hear some people saying that they got cancer because of using the family planning method? It's hard, and it's all clear to all of you, because all of you have TVs in your home. You watch news, and that is done on news or put on news headlines. Am I wrong? Young people should not know beyond abstinence, because once they get to know that they know something, they divert others from achieving their goals. So some of you even become the singers of others, seriously boasting. You gather them in a sample and you're like, you know what? You should go beyond and know. So you test this thing, you know how it tastes like. Yeah, it's like a forbidden fruit that Adam was forbidden to eat. Then he went on and tasted because he wanted to know the sweetness. You wanted to know the sweetness. So you go on without the knowledge. You say, let me test. I have to know what this is all about. You test arrogantly, you get pregnant. Who will you blame after telling you that you should abstain? Who will you blame? Your parent? Your mother who told you, my daughter, please abstain from sex.
I kindly beg you, I'm on my knees. Don't do this to me. You go arrogantly. You know, ma'am, you haven't told me the outcomes. Let me go and test and see what outcomes I'll get. You can't try. The outcomes come. Who will you blame? And then my last point is, young people should not know more beyond abstinence because it will lead to high chances of drug abuse in form of alcohol. When a young person realizes he or she is affected with HIV/AIDS, he will usually take drugs to calm down his psychological feelings. Once you get to know that you're suffering from AIDS, can you tell me that you have peace? You taking tablets every day, and once you don't take it for a month, you're going to be dead. Would you get peace? So it will be like, anyway, let me take some alcohol to calm myself down. Because some of you have this station of saying, if you take alcohol, you'll forget stress. And the other thing, I may request for 1 minute. Okay. This goes to the proposing side. You say abstinence. You teach children how to abstain. So can you tell me how you can abstain from taking alcohol or taking drugs? You can't. Once you're into the trap of taking drugs, you're all for it. And chances of regaining or coming back to your outer senses are zero. I beg to rest my case. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the participants, for the love you've expressed. I believe we did take it for granted